Welcome everyone. Today we'll start with a new topic, that is principles of genetics. We have started the lesson transport in plants. We have not completed that lesson yet. So let us keep it like that itself. We will continue it afterwards from the starting itself. No need to worry. I'll go through a recap of that lesson of the previous videos, then we'll go ahead with the new ones. But before we complete the transport of water, here we will start with a new chapter, that is principles of genetics. This chapter is very important according to IPE, that is intermediate examination point of view. Here from this chapter, definite there is one short question, one very short question, and sometimes here we might even get two short questions from this one. Sometimes we might get two short questions from this lesson. Sometimes we get one short answer, but one that is 4 mark and one 2 mark. It is compulsory from this one. Okay, and sometimes instead of one we can even get two questions, two 4 mark questions from this lesson. It is very important from examination point of view. So let us start with this. Remember, we will start again with this chapter transport and water. We'll complete it, we'll go through a recap and we'll go for the new videos afterwards. But as of now, as this is important, you will get time to learn the answers. The answers are very important of this lesson. Almost all answers are important. Almost all answers are important, and as I already said you will get one or two short questions and one definite very short question from this lesson. So concentrate here, that is concentration should be proper, focus here only, and afterwards when you have finished the video, see it again. If you doesn't understand, see it again, and here you, after the finishing of lesson, you start learning answers of this lesson. Learn the answers of this lesson. It is very important. So now coming to this lesson, before we move on, let us have a brief introduction of the scientist whose name is Gregor John Mendel. Gregor John Mendel. Here Gregor John Mendel, he is the scientist who has contributed immensely in the field of genetics. Gregor John Mendel, the scientist, he has immensely contributed in the field of genetics. So that is why this scientist, that is Gregor John Mendel, he is also called as father of genetics. Father of genetics. Gregor John Mendel is also called as father of genetics because of his immense contribution to the field of genetics. Here the scientist Gregor John Mendel, he was born in the year 1822. This is the birth year. He was born in the year 1822, 22nd July 1822, and he died in the year 1884. 1884 is the death year. We said he immensely contributed in the field of genetics. So he studied on the plant Pisum sativum, the scientific name Pisum sativum, that is pea plant, normally which we call it as pea plant. He did all his experiments. He did most of his experiments on pea plants. The scientific name of pea plant is Pisum sativum. So he did the work. He did research on this pea plant for almost 6 years. For 6 years he did the work on Pisum sativum, but his work went unrecognized. His work went unrecognized. His work was not recognized at that time, but later after his death, the three scientists, the first is Hugo de Vries, second is Correns, and the third is Tishmark. These three scientists rediscovered his work. When they were experimenting, when they were doing experiments, they came across the experiments done by this scientist John Gregor Mendel, and now after they discovered his work, while they were discovering something, they were doing some research of their own, they discovered his research, and then they said, they recognized his work, this scientist has done something, he has proved something which has not been recognized until now. So till his death, his work was unrecognized. He did many researches, he did many experiments, he worked continuously on the pea plant. He did many experiments for almost 6 years, but till he was alive, his work was not recognized. After his death, when these three scientists were researching something, they rediscovered his work. Here, he was a mathematician. He was not a biologist. He was not a biologist. He was a mathematician. He was a mathematician. He used to work as that is his job. He was doing the job of a priest in a church. He was a mathematician and he used to do the job of priest in a church. We said his work went unrecognized. Why is it so? He worked very hard, he proved many things, but his work was unrecognized. Why his work went unrecognized? What are the reasons his work went unrecognized? So here, this one, the reasons for unrecognition of his work. Why, instead of doing all the work, instead of doing thorough research and experiments, his work went unnoticed? Why it went unnoticed? The first reason is the work he has done, the things he has explained. So it was not published properly. It was not published properly in the sense his work was published in small journals, local journals. His work was not published internationally. His work was not published internationally. So that is why, that is one of the reason his work went unrecognized. There was no recognition because the data which he put forward could not come on the international level. He did research, he explained it, he published it in the local journals, which was not enough. Only few people knew. So here, as it was not internationally published, so that is why his work was went unrecognized. And the second most reason for his unrecognition of work is biologists. They did not accept his work. I already said you, this John Gregor Mendel, he was not a biologist, he was a mathematician. So they had said that he is a mathematician, that is, there is no authenticity for his work, he is not a biologist. So biologists did not accept his work. Why? Because Mendel was not biologist, he was not a biologist, he was a mathematician. Because of these reasons, these biologists did not accept his work. Even when it was published in the local journals, the biologists did not accept because he was not a biologist, he was a mathematician. And the third factor, that is what we said, genes are the factors which are responsible for inheritance. Genes are the factors which are responsible for the inheritance. Earlier at that time, he called it as discrete units. He called the genes as discrete units. So he said that there are some discrete units which are responsible for the inheritance of the characters. But he was unable to explain these discrete units. What are those discrete units? Now we call those discrete units as genes. Now after so many years after his death, we are calling it as genes. The factors which are responsible for the inheritance, we call that factor as the gene. But at the time he called it as the discrete units. That is, there is something which is passing the information, which is responsible for the hereditary of characters, that is passing of characters from one generation to another generation. He said it as discrete units, but he was unable to explain what are those discrete units, how they work. He was unable to explain. Why he was unable to explain? Because of technology was not developed. Technology was not well developed. There was no proper microscope. There was no specific, that is sophisticated microscope was not there. Electron microscope was not there. These genes are very small units which can be seen only with the help of the electron microscope. And at that time there was no electron microscope. Why? Because technology was not that well developed. Because of this lack in development of technology, he was unable to explain the discrete units. He was unable to explain that these are the things which that is genes are the factors which are responsible for inheritance. Because of his unable to explain the discrete units, because as he was not a biologist, he was a mathematician, and his work, because of his unpublished, that is the work which was not published at international level, these are the three main reasons his work went unrecognized. Even after doing so much of research, his work went unrecognized because of these three main reasons. Apart from the others, these are the three main reasons. But later, after many years, after 16 years of his death, after 16 years of his death, nearly in 1900, in the year 1900, these three scientists, when they were doing the research, they rediscovered the work of John Gregor Mendel. Okay, then when they published it, when they put forward his work in front of the others, here his work was recognized. His work was recognized 16 years after his death because of these three scientists. They rediscovered his work, and now his work went recognized. His work was recognized everywhere. Why initially it went unrecognized? Initially the work went unrecognized, but later, after some years, his work was recognized all over. Why? What are the reasons? Here, reasons for the failure of recognition. Now, we will see the reasons why his work was recognized. The first and the foremost reason for his recognition of work, for he being successful in explaining all the things, the first thing is selection of contrasting characters. He selected the characters which are in total contrast with each other. For example, suppose if we take a character, usually first we take, that is height. If we take the height of a plant, if the height is this much, for another the height is a little smaller. So what we say, this is tall and this is taller, this is tall. So for one it might be taller, for one this might be tall and this might be taller, and for another person this might be tall and this might be short. It is depending on the individual perception of the person. It depends on the individual person. It depends on individual perception, what a person thinks. I think, when I see this, I think this is tall and this is short. But any one of you can think this is tall and this is a little taller. So here comes the confusion. What is tall and short for me? It is tall and somewhat more tall, that is, it is tall and taller for you people. So here comes the confusion. So here comes the confusion. So now he selected the characters which are contrast. Here one is this much and another is this much. Now for this, for everyone this is tall and for everyone this is short. For everyone this is tall. When I see, I can say this is tall and this is short. Even when you see, you can say okay, this is tall and this is dwarf. There is no confusion here. There is confusion here. There is ambiguity, confusion, vagueness. It is not clear. It is not clear. For some it is tall and for it is taller, and for some it is tall and short. So it is ambiguous. Here it is ambiguous and confusion is there. But here there is no vagueness, there is no ambiguity, there is no confusion. It is clear for everyone this is tall and for everyone this is short. So he selected characters like this. He selected the plants which has character like this. Very contrasting characters. One is totally, that is very tall, and another one is dwarf, very short. So it is contrasting characters. So the reason for his recognition of work is, the first and the foremost reason is, he selected the plants which have contrasting characters. And second reason for his work being recognized is huge sample size. Huge sample size. For example, if we do, that is, if someone is going to issue a statement that the color of the, that is the color of the people of India is black. So in order to issue that statement, we have to conduct a survey. So to conduct the survey, can we just inquire about 10 people? We say that we have seen that 10 people are dark, so we can say that that is all the people in India are dark. No, we cannot say that. We need to, in order to issue a statement like that, so we need to conduct a survey in thousands, that is for thousands of people, or we can even say millions of people. When we conduct the survey on thousands or millions of people, then we will be able to say that a large number of people in India are black in color. A large number of people in India, in America, are white in color, something like this. So when we conduct our survey on a huge people, then only we will be able to say. When we conduct the survey on 100 people or some 10-20 people, and we say okay, Indian people are black based on that 10 people, we cannot give that statement like that. So when the sample in the sense that when the people are more, then we can check out more for more people, and then we can issue when the more and more people have the same color, then we can say that almost people in India are black in color. So here is also the same. He collected the pea plant. He did experiment on pea plant, because the sample in a pod will have 5 to 6. On a plant many peas will be there, and many pea plants can be grown in a very short period of time. So here whatever that is the sample which he took for doing the survey, the sample was huge. He collected variety of pea plants and conducted survey. Then came to the conclusion. So because of this huge sample size, because of the contrasting characters in the pea plant, and he organized the data in a very systematical manner, in a very organized manner. He explained the data which he collected was put in a very organized way, because we already said he was a mathematician, statistical. The data was represented statistically. Everything was very organized, very clear. Everything was very organized, very clear. The data was very clear, and this data was based on huge sample size and contrasting characters where there is no vagueness or ambiguity or confusion. And because of these three main reasons, his work went recognized. So this was all about the father of genetics, that is John Gregor Mendel. He did his work on pea plant, that is Pisum sativum, and first in the earlier years before he died, his work went unrecognized because it was not published at international level, and the microscopic instruments was not sophisticated, and the third is he was not a biologist, so biologists did not accept his work. Later, after his death, after 16 years of his death, the three scientists Hugo de Vries, Correns and Tishmark, they were doing research. Well, while they researched, they rediscovered the work of Mendel and they put forward the work in front of the world, and now his work went recognized and he was very his work was a success, and the reason for his success is selection of contrasting characters and huge sample size and very organized data. In the next class, we'll start with what are the different characters. We said that Mendel selected contrasting characters. What are the different characters which he selected? What are the different characters which he selected? Why he selected pea plant? We'll see all those things.